That does matter.
Hello, can you hear us now?
Yep. After I turn on the button, we can.
Okay.
I'm glad
I
you
just
noticed.
noticed that wasn't moving, so I was just like, oh, I don't know.
All right, so we got buttons pushed. And what I was saying is, let us know if you can hear Candace good. We hadn't checked it live.
Can you hear me, everybody? Hello? Somebody says no sound.
Yeah, that was before I reached up there and
Okay.
snapped that button there. Whoops.
Yes.
I think we got everything rolling again now. So, but anyways, we talk. Let us know if you hear Candace okay.
All right.
We got our guest mic hooked up without a guest over there to test it. Slowly but surely.
Yes.
Let's see.
Got my sunshiny shirt on, but
that
no
is-
sunshine out in the sky.
Do you call that yellow or is that gold?
I would say it's gold. Yeah, like a golden.
Her and Donald Trump, just like that. You get up in the plane with him now.
Yeah. I doubt that'll happen.
Well, let's see. A lot of things going on this morning. From what we understand, all traffic, all roads are back open now in the Pine Springs area where there was a gas leak earlier this morning where they had some roads blocked off. I checked with Rush Mayette. All that's open now.
Okay.
So that's good news.
Yes, that is. I did not hear about that until you told me. But I've just been going this morning. I do know this. I know
What's that?
that the people are lining up at pumps. People are starting to run out of gas in different areas. So if you need gas, you need to go get it. I don't know.
And Dawn Garner posted this. Let me pull this up here. This is media induced. Our area gets its gas from down here on the coast. Of course, panic happens. There was tanks already with it, but it's a run on the gas stations now that are empty. We're not out of gas yet, but if it keeps on, it will be.
Well,
It's
there was
just
a
like
big
toilet paper.
Right. There was a gas truck at one of the service stations filling up the tanks this morning. So they are still running and filling up, you know. But I'm sure everybody panicking and going and getting the gas is going to, you know.
Yeah.
But
You know, and here's another picture of this right here. If you live in these general areas, that's that pipeline up there that was hacked, and this is where we get our fuel from down in this area here. So that really has no effect on us. But if everybody shows up at one time trying to get gas that's in the pumps there, it does create a problem. And how many months did we go without any paper towels or anything like that?
I know. It was a mess. A big mess.
But gas is a little bit more
Poopy this
expensive to hoard than toilet paper. What'd you spend this morning?
I spent $50 on like almost 19 gallons of gas, but I think it averaged out to be like $2.78
All right,
a
and
gallon.
if everyone would remember, you could fill up a Tahoe for $40 when Trump was in there, roughly $1.69 a gallon, somewhere around in that area.
Yeah, I think it was close to almost 60 the other day to fill mine up, to fill it up from almost empty to.
So we've moved about roughly $1 a gallon since last November.
Right.
It's getting expensive.
It is.
There ain't no other way to word it. And I'll go back to this here in a minute. Let's see here. Let me close that. I posted, asked that question last night on Facebook about that, of the question about the gas shortage. And it is everywhere. Let me go down and see if I can find this. Still that live chase going on in L.A. this morning, wreck there. Here's what we had. No. It's on down here. It's amazing how much I can type in one day and not see it here. But a lot of comments with this of, let me see here, comments right there is view all comments, but it's widespread. Louisville Walmart and Chevron is out. Amanda posted there. Chevron in Philadelphia just ran out, and this was an hour ago. And it just goes on and on of widespread of the different areas that watch us.
Well, I do know there was like some people filling up all kind of small tanks, and not just their gas tanks in their car. They were like filling up gas tanks, putting, you know.
Tom, I'm not sure where that was at, but $3.99 a gallon.
Oh my goodness.
That could be in another state there of where he's from. And it's just on 246 there at one of the places there, but it's higher. That's a cheap price right now, 246. Anywhere you go, that's extremely cheap because I've seen it.
Well, like I said, it was like $2.78 a while ago that I paid.
Yeah.
My son last night he left the house, went to town. It was like $2.57 a gallon. And when he come back, they had changed it to 267. So it went up 10 cents in like no time.
Yeah.
You know.
Sam's yesterday, and anybody that passes Sam's today at 1 o'clock yesterday, it was posted it was $2.39 a gallon. So I bet it's a lot higher than that now. Of course, Sam's going to be the cheaper one on that.
I wonder, do the stores control those prices, or does
Gas companies?
The gas company, okay.
What they're charged
know.
on delivery.
Okay.
Now, and I do think it happens if they get a memo that says the gas that we're bringing to you is going to be X amount of dollars higher.
Right.
What they've already got, they go ahead and go up on to compensate. And most of these, the stores don't really make but about a penny a gallon because they lease the pumps from whoever owns it, and they don't make a whole lot. One stolen gas tank destroys all their profit for the entire month.
Right.
And that does happen, we all know. Getting harder, though, to steal gas these days because most pumps, you have to put in the credit card to make it work before it's even turned on.
Yeah.
Not like the old days of to where it automatically turned on. Let's see. We just got a note. Sandy Gardner said Sefco in Collinsville is out. And you know, Sefco's got how many aisles of pumps there? Bunch.
Yeah.
So that's out. Let's see here. We got some good mornings coming in. Let's see who all we got stirring today.
Orena Bonner says, good morning. Good
there.
morning to you. Miss Joyce Godwin, good morning and have a blessed day, she says.
Dean Baskin is up, and we got the sound fixed there. Let's see here. Gwen McMahon Walton. I wonder if she's kin to the Waltons there, John Boy and all that.
I don't know. Let's see. Ann McKee says, good morning. And Teresa Labiche, she's better with the sound.
Yeah, it does. Let's see here. Also, Charlotte Gray, good sound. Thank you for listening there. Elmer Talbert. Tabbert. I said that Talbert. I said that wrong. Sorry about that. Milton Savelle, good morning to you also as we look at Donna Roseman watching this morning.
Jeremiah Johnson says, good morning from Seattle.
You want to come on back home, aren't you there? Good morning to Donna Sue Pebbles, and Miss Gail Gafford is up this morning.
Miss Linda Culpepper says, good morning, along with Miss Lynn Swain.
Along with us, see here, Charlene Etheridge is up. Sandy Gardner, where she was talking about gas being out there.
Yes. Eva Grace Johnson said, when folks had some sense, they called it price gouging.
Yeah, it's exactly what that was.
Yeah, there you will see price gouging on a lot of things. You remember when generators years ago?
Yes.
After Katrina,
they were skyrocketing.
Yes, they were going crazy with prices on generators.
Something that cost $500 automatically went to $1,500.
Yeah, they were selling them off backs of trucks and all kind of stuff. Yeah.
And let me just
wrong.
go ahead and say that right now because we do have a very, very strong hurricane season predicted. And, you know, we'll talk more about what generators are, but order one now if you're wanting one.
Okay.
If you want the pull behind, I think they're in stores, but if you're wanting one that'll run your home, go ahead and pre-order in it. Because if you want the other kind that you plug up and pour gas into, they will become a big shortage.
Well,
that's coming.
And two, all this gas mess going on.
Yeah, how you keep them running?
Goodness.
Let's see here. Good morning also to Joyce. Do you pronounce that pool? Yeah. Miss Oglen, how in the world are you doing today?
Barbara Vicks watching, and Sean
new
Shopert.
word.
Shopert, I guess. Shopert. Says good morning, y'all, and wants everybody to stay dry today.
Yeah, that's
I
not
don't
going
know if that's going to happen today.
No, it's not.
It's looking
We're gonna
like
be
any
wet.
minute it could just, the bottom could fall out. Let's see. Reggie McKee says good morning, and Terry Carter says good morning.
Along with Glenda Dillard. How are you? Good morning from Shelbyville, Tennessee. We're glad to have Tennessee watching this morning. Beautiful up there. Tennessee is like the vacation of all rednecks.
Tennessee is pretty.
We love to run
area.
up there in the mountains. It is beautiful.
Wish I was in the mountains, you know. Angela Sloan says, good morning, y'all.
And also Charlene Gaddy. I did a job where Liesl Harris was from. When it was at Collierville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I didn't know he was from there.
Beautiful place. You know, they had pictures of him everywhere, boot shops, autographs. They really liked him there in Collierville.
It is, and it's kind of near Germantown,
Yeah.
which is a neat little town too up there. So.
Had one of the best hamburgers I ever had up there. I can't remember the name of it. It was a little shopping center. I remember it well. Let's see here. We had another good morning, didn't we?
Tammy Bellantoni says good morning.
$3.62 a gallon there in Seattle, Washington for
Goodness.
gasoline. Woo. Let's see, Mississippi, and one of the things that's going on. Let's pull this up here. Taterbug has Babyface Tate, our governor, has spoken, And he's going to be, and this is really a good thing. I have to agree with him on this. The unemployment benefits, they're going to withdraw the state of Mississippi from it due to nobody wanting to go to work.
Right. And of course, Biden yesterday in a speech said that people were saying that people were being paid to stay home, and that was not the case. But really,
Yeah,
it is the case. That is why people are having a hard time getting anybody to work, because, I mean, they're making more staying at the house.
And you can't blame somebody that's down on their luck. You're going to pay you $40,000 a year to sit at home or $30,000 to go to work.
Yeah. I mean, when you give people a choice like that, unless they're just super motivated to work, they're probably not going to work.
They're going to take that easy money.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened to America. And, in one case, you really think that they almost want that to where everybody has to lean on the government to get their money. Right. And I certainly hope we don't turn into a society like that.
Well, look, and it would be totally different if you couldn't find a job. It would be totally different if there was nobody hiring.
Yeah.
I would say,
they should get their benefits.
Right. I would say keep it like it is, but there are signs up everywhere. People trying to get people to work. They're shorthanded. They're slow in these businesses because they only have so much help.
Right.
So we need we need to help get people back to work.
Yeah. I'm just have the big one. One of Debbie Alexander's cousins and started watching us. Glenda Dillard. Bless your heart.
Roxy Richardson says, good morning from Preston,
Mississippi. I know.
Teresa Miner says, good morning also.
Big old Dollar General sitting up there in Preston these days. And have you noticed that directions now, how things have changed where it would be, something's near the post office. Every southern town now is, it's 3 miles from the Dollar General.
Yeah, there's a Dollar General every so many miles. It really is.
Golly. I mean, it really has changed. And most small towns, it does help. Because I remember back in the day when me and Angie first got married, and it was many, many moons ago, you lived in Scuba, and there was not a store like that. I mean, you had Briggs that you might could find a Bolt if you needed, but you couldn't. You had to come to Meridian, and when you bought groceries, the Suburban was dragging the ground going back home because you didn't come but once a month.
Yeah.
It's changed.
I just hope this gas shortage or whatever you want to call it that's happening or fixing to happen, I just hope it doesn't affect groceries being brought to the grocery store.
Oh, it will. It will drive the price up.
Right. So I'm thinking that's going to be the next dilemma.
Then the next thing is people with garden hoses sneaking up to your car in the middle of the night.
Oh, goodness.
So have you ever had to, and there's always a big controversy on how you say this word. Is it siphon or Stifle? How do you say it?
I remember when
siphon.
Stifle. I used to say Stifle because I think that's what my papa said, Stifle. My papa used to do that on with his stuff around his house, like in the yard. If he needed gas, I don't know how he didn't choke to death.
But I mean, you got to put it in your mouth and do just the right amount of, and then
take a piece of a garden hose,
cut it off, ram it down in there, and then you're always going to get gas in your mouth. I don't care how.
I remember him spitting gas out of his mouth several times. I don't even know how you lived through that. No,
Come on, Candace.
I have not done that. I ain't doing that. Well, I'd be the one to suck it down my throat and have to go to the ER. No.
It wouldn't kill you if it was just a small amount.
I'd be the one to die.
But when you got to have it, you got to have it, and that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
But
I don't recommend going in somebody else's yard and getting it out of their tank, though, because that might not be a good day for you.
See, nowadays the professionals have got these little pumps that are automatic. They drop down in there and you hit it on a little battery and it'll suck your gas out. But back in the day, that wasn't available when you ran out.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd pass that along.
An unhealthy practice nowadays.
It probably is. We'll just go ahead and say that it is.
Right.
There. Let's see here. Starkville is because there's so much crime. As people in Mississippi is no stranger to crime nowadays. Jackson, Mississippi is horrific, and it looks like the Starkville area is starting to do that. They're looking at putting in a curfew to curb the crime there. It's so bad.
Goodness.
From 11 p.m. to 6
lives
a.m.
there. I had not heard that.
So something to think on there. They need to do something in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I know we got our own issues here in Meridian, but it's not anything at the level west of here it is.
But stuff always travels.
Yeah, you're right. 1998, you would think if you'd done something bad in 1998 that you would have got away with it, because that's been, what, 21, 20, 23 years.
A long time.
Yeah, old boy in Mississippi, it didn't work out well for him. He's been arrested for murder in Picayune. He was taken into custody there, and I almost think, oh, yeah, look what caused it.
DNA?
DNA. Don't be signing up for these genealogy websites and you're criminal. I say that often, but they are cracking more and more of these cases with that. And truly, I brought this up. I really think when you get your driver's license, you ought to give your DNA, give your thumbprint. It keeps everybody honest. You know where everybody is. And that way you could also do voter registration that way.
Well, I would imagine too, like if they're looking for somebody, they could go through medical
No, that's HIPAA law.
stuff. They could not?
Cannot. That's HIPAA.
They couldn't search it?
Nope. Can't do it. That's privacy.
You'd think the DNA stuff would be a private thing.
But you're giving it willingly when
Yeah.
you go to these sites of
I mean,
swabbing.
either way, I'm glad they caught criminals with
Yeah.
it. You know, that's a good
But
thing.
I truly think that would work, because if everybody's fingerprint there, when you go to vote, you press your thumbprint.
Yeah.
It's Hop Sing told me on Bonanza. I remember it. Everybody's is unique. He discovered
Right.
it, according to Little Joe.
If we've got any left from all the sanitizer we've used,
Ooh, we have used a bunch
I think
there.
I've burned all mine off, all my fingerprints.
Good morning to Debbie Drake watching us from Philadelphia. Appreciate that. What did Tammy say there about the Dollar Generals?
One of every 3 stores opening in the U.S. is a Dollar General.
Wow. That's pretty strong there.
You might want to get stock in that.
Yeah, I wish I'd have thought about that years ago. Something that is coming, and this is going to kick off, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, here it is. The 13th is when it will start. The Antique Alley is kicking off here in Mississippi, and I think it goes all the way to Virginia.
That is something to see if you've never seen
So
that.
today is, so that's going to be Thursday that kicks off. Today's Tuesday, 13th will be Thursday. Look at this.
Goodness.
Highway 11 from Meridian all the way to Bristol, Virginia is where it goes.
And I've seen it. I mean, you can find a little bit of everything.
So how far up do you go?
I mean, I've just been out in the Russell area years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, because just in that one little stretch right there, you find a ton of things. You know?
But that's a big deal. From Meridian, Mississippi, all the way to Bristol, Virginia.
Usually, like right past the Cracker Barrel, it'll start right down there and go all the way. Like I've seen it all the way down to Russell and in that other direction. I mean,
I sure am glad I'm not the one having to organize that.
right.
Ooh-wee.
So just be careful if you're driving down through there too, because people park on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Get out and walk. So if you see that, just kind of slow down and be careful.
And I don't know if you've seen this yet. In one way, I understand telling someone your clothes are not appropriate, but I have been to Six Flags, and they let a lot of worse things go on at Six Flags than somebody wearing shorts.
Right.
We went on one of those weekends where we had no clue they were doing that type of, and I'm trying to politically say this correct, of a different lifestyle that I don't live. They had their blowout there that weekend. We're standing there with the kids going, "What are you wearing? Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Awful thing. But they threw, and the mother is autistic. But accordingly, this happened in Oklahoma is where this went on. This lady was confronted about her shorts. This is the mom. Maybe you've seen this in the headlines this morning here. But this is her, and she's sitting down here, and she does a picture down here that shows the shorts, but they kept wanting her ID, and she kept saying, "No, I'm not giving you my ID because you're going to arrest me." And it was back over shorts. And it keeps going and going.
They are
and,
pretty short.
Yeah, they are, and as you get down here, she demonstrates here in just a second just how short they are. Now, again, you wouldn't want to be staring at them.
Right.
I don't think you would. Maybe there's some folks. That's the shorts that she was chunked out of there for. That picture there shows it'll, but she was asked to leave. And do you agree with that if they do the other?
I
It's a
don't know.
thin line.
They're a little revealing.
They are.
I mean, so that might be inappropriate, especially like riding rides and stuff.
But all right,
I
what
don't
about
know.
the bikini that people walk around wearing? Because I've seen that also.
In there?
Yeah, in Six Flags, because people get
Oh,
wet. and-
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate either. I think you need to be fully clothed, and they might say that's fully clothed. I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is. I personally would not have shorts on that.
Well, you
short.
wouldn't wear them. I know that.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't.
I don't think you own any of that short.
No,
see.
I mean, I wouldn't. I didn't allow, I didn't like, well, I say I didn't allow, I did not allow it. Although my daughters ended up with some shorts
Daisy
they probably
Dukes.
put on after they left the house sometimes, but I never allowed mine to leave
Right.
my house with, my mother went and took my daughter to town one time. And when she came back, she had these shorts that I promise you might have been like that long. Like if
Your
you
mama
held 'em
bought 'em
up.
for her?
Yeah, mama. She said, well, she said she wanted them. And I was like, well, did you look at them on her? She said everybody's wearing them. I'm like, well, she ain't.
But my stance on Six Flags is
Yeah.
they'll allow some stuff that are beyond off the Richter scale to me,
Yeah.
but throw you out for the shorts.
There's a lot of double standard going on.
Yeah, that's
though.
the
You know
word
what
I'm
I'm saying?
looking for.
There's a lot of that going on. Like this morning, even I heard about three college student. Well, there was a demonstration of like, I guess it was kind of people protesting or having some kind of a rally or something. And I guess it was at a college, I assume, or maybe in the same area as the college. Nothing was done to these people. They didn't have masks on. Nothing was done. They said nobody was hurt or anything. But then in the same area or around that, three college students took a picture off campus without their mask up because they wanted to take a picture, and they were expelled from college. They can't finish their classes and take their exams to graduate. They have to reapply for school. They lost their student loans or something also. Yeah.
Holy smoke.
I cannot remember the
name of the
state or the college, but yeah. And I don't see how that's I
not.
understand. Yeah. They lifted the mask mandate for people who like to wear them outside. You didn't have to wear them outside anymore. They said if you're fully vaccinated. But still, if you don't have to wear the mask outside and they pulled theirs down to take a picture, even if they weren't fully vaccinated, I don't see how that is right.
And you hear more and more about that. You want to this thing, whether they say a national thing is coming to be fully vaccinated, you gonna end up this card thing is getting shoved on you to where you have to prove that you've been to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Y'all know it is coming. They say one thing, the other is happening.
Yeah.
But doing that to that's not right. And
not right.
there is going to be lawsuit after lawsuit once the smoke clears from this. What people were denied their rights as Americans, that's coming too.
Oh, yeah. I just don't see how a college can expel students, not even on campus.
No,
I don't know how they're doing that.
that's when you need a protest.
Yeah, you do.
In my opinion there. Don't forget, we're going to be making this transition in just a little bit. We'll be joining MeTV in Meridian. They'll be carrying the show live before long. I believe it's going to be on the 24th now is when it's going to be starting, a week from Monday. And so join us. We'll be on there, and you can also carry it here. Just a little reminder
That's right.
of what's going on. Let's see here what's shaking out here. The Biden administration is getting a lot of flack. The 33 Republican senators have sent letters because they canceled this. This comes through Meridian every year. I think it's Rolling Thunder, maybe is what it's called, as they head to Washington for Memorial Day to remember those who've fallen. It's a big deal across the United States. They were first granted the right there at the Pentagon to have the parking lot, and then the Biden administration took it back. 33 of them, those 30 other Republicans have sent in, 31, to petition that with the Biden administration to let them hold the rally again. I'm not one way or the other.
He's on all kind of toes, isn't he?
Yeah, and I don't know which way to lean to say, yeah, he'll cave in. I'm not sure he will. I don't think he's that smart.
I don't think there's any compassion in this administration at all for anybody. I think it's what they want, and if you don't want the same thing they do, then you're out.
Yeah, it is definitely a president that is told what to do. I don't think there's a lot of thinking on his part.
I still hadn't understood I'm going to get in trouble if I keep answering questions. I'm going to get in trouble. And that speaks volumes. Somebody is telling him he cannot speak. He can only answer so many questions. Obviously, I mean, because what's a grown man going to get in trouble for? That is the president,
the most powerful man in the entire world. That's what that job is.
Yeah, they're scared he's going to answer too many questions or say the wrong thing. I mean, come on, everybody knows that. It's obvious. As
we watch all of this, I don't know how all of this works, and this is just the headline here. I'm not going to go. The Lutheran Church becomes the first major U.S. Christian to have a transgender bishop. That is out there. We've got the United Methodist Church that now has gay and they've recognized gay and lesbian marriage, to where you've got the other half of the Methodist church going, no, that's not the way it is. We want to separate. There's a lot of things going on with church. The Bible says one thing, read it.
Yeah.
That's the best I can tell you on that. God's word does not change from year to year to year to year.
Yeah, it doesn't accommodate.
No, it does not. It has not changed. And if you think you're right, read the Bible. Find out. It'll let you know real quick there.
And that goes for all of us in any kind of sense of anything about the, sins or anything in the Bible. I mean, a sin is a sin.
It does.
It doesn't matter.
Let me ask this. Do you agree that a pastor is held to a higher level than the average Joe as the leader of a flock, that he needs to be?
I think they're looked upon at a higher to have a higher standard. I do think that. I think everybody should have the same standards,
But that preacher, though, that gets in the pulpit, stands there, should he be on his P's and Q's because he is the leader? I've always felt that a preacher is held to a higher accountability because he is the head of it. He's still a sinner. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that, they definitely need to be living right. I do. Okay. But I think we all should be. Not that we do.
Correct.
Because we don't.
I agree with
mean, everybody sins. Nobody's perfect. Everybody sins. Nobody is perfect.
And I'm not going to go in where my mind was going, but I just saw something the other day that made me go, that don't look right.
Yeah. It's easy for everybody to point fingers. It really is, and I've seen it like thousands of times. It seems like, people, talk about somebody else. I'm not talking about the preacher thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, oh yeah, so-and-so was up at the casino, or, oh, I went, I don't know. You just see different things, or they were drinking, or they were doing this, I don't know. We need to worry about our own.
Well, interesting.
Selves.
I had a roundabout conversation with somebody last week that brought this up to me. They had gone to a church forever, and they decided the views of the church just didn't fit them anymore, and they wanted to move to another church. And so, you have to ask for your letter to be moved.
Right.
Well, the church said, well, before we're going to give you your letter, you've got to come make an apology to the church. And he said, at first, he goes, it kind of flew over me. And he said, I sat back and I thought about it, and he goes, I'm a sinner. And he goes, yeah. He said, I went back to the church. I went in front of it and I said, I'm guilty. I have made these sins here, but also, has anybody else made this sin, this sin, this sin?
Yeah.
And everybody in the congregation was guilty of it. It was almost like try to shame him, but I think in the end they realized the error of their ways. And, he went on to another church after that. But we all are guilty.
I don't think anybody sitting in a church is without sin.
No,
I mean, they're
it's
not. There's no way. I mean, people it's like a work in progress.
God's been trying to get into a bunch of them for many years.
Well, like I said, nobody's perfect. And right. I mean, everybody should be welcome to a church if they're there for the right reasons. And, I don't like the people. And I know a lot of people stay away from going to church because they feel like they're being judged. Yeah. And I don't think that's right. I don't think you should be judged by other people in the church. I think you should be welcomed with open arms.
And here's something.
And it is between, you and God. But like if you are holding a position in a church, you do need to be, trying to at least live right.
You need to live But here's a project for today, if you've never heard it. And it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen with this subject in mind. Johnny Paycheck, many, many, many years ago, he had done a show, I think it was in Dallas, Texas. He had been out. He wakes up early on Sunday morning and decided he wanted to go to church. And he went in, and they pretty much told him, you're a hippie. You look like a drunk. You can't get in here. And it hit Johnny. And he wrote a song about it later that afternoon, all about how he tried to get into the church and how he sat out front. And he goes, God, they probably wouldn't let you in here with your old long hair and them old sandals and your robe these days. And it is one of the most touching songs that is so close to reality of the way people judge you and the way they shouldn't.
Right.
But it's called Outlaws Prayer by Johnny Paycheck. Google that today. It's on YouTube. And it just painted such a picture.
Yeah. Did you see the thing, it's been a long time ago, but where the preacher dressed up like a homeless man sat outside the church and watched everybody walk by him and not try to say anything or help or, show any kind of compassion.
Showed who spoke.
Right. And then I think he got up in front of the church and revealed.
He did.
That was him. Yeah. You don't ever to know. You never know what people are going through in their life. You don't know what walks of life they've come from. You know, these people sitting outside of places that look homeless and like that look like homeless people or are homeless people. You don't know what brought them to that point, you know?
Well,
and so you don't.
Paycheck even made the comment there. The people that was running him down was on the front row of his concert the night before, drunk, and he goes, "Then you going to make fun of me?" Mm-hmm. But listen to that. Right. But you're right. That homeless thing, you can find that story there. It's a great story. I think they videoed all of that.
Right.
So yeah,
I believe everybody deserves forgiveness. Even, and it's hard. It's really hard for me to say, but like even like the worst people who've committed the worst of the worst crimes and all this, they still deserve forgiveness. You know.
God never told you got to hang out with bad people.
You ain't got to go like
if you know there's somebody bad
invite them into
your
home if you know they. I mean, but they still deserve forgiveness.
True, I agree with that.
They're able to ask for it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a minute and talk about our friend Joe out in Collinsville, Mississippi, where Joe's going to help you out with all your groceries. Now, these prices are good through closing of business today, and they'll have some new ones tomorrow. We've got the red ripe tomatoes, $1.29 for that 4-pack. You can also get the Vidalia onions, $2.49 for that 3-pound bag. Now, you a big Vidalia onion eater? I'm not a big onion eater.
They're a sweet onion, so
some people just swear by those.
Well, Georgia, they have Vidalia onion festivals over there.
Well, get out of here.
They do.
All right, we've also got some squash going on today, $1.29 a pound. Fresh corn, that 3-pack for $1.99 if you want to cook some of that tonight, along with the bell peppers and, well, the Betty Crocker. You need a birthday cake? They got it for you. $1.29 a box for those, along with fresh celery stalk. If you need sugar, I broke mine open this morning. And if you've got that sweet tooth today, Oreo cookies, 2 for $6 there for that 14, 15-ounce bag. Fruity Pebbles for the breakfast of the person on the go. There you go. Along with ice cream. It's always good. If you're looking for New York strip, great steak for $11.99 a pound. And center cut pork chops, $1.99. Those are so good. And, of course, Coca-Cola products at a great price along with drinking water. Where do you find it? Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. See my friend Joe. He'll help you and save you money all at the same time there.
That's right.
Let's see here. What else is shaking this morning? Did we miss any comments?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to catch up.
Let's see here. If you use WhatsApp app, you only have a couple of weeks before they cut this off if you don't agree to their policies. I've quit using it. Some people have no problem with that. I quit using it. I've deleted that off my phone, so I'm not using that one anymore. Let's see here. More and more stories come out about big Bill Gates as to where you thought he was just that little nerd guy that done this. But boy, things are starting to slip out about his past before he got married and the nightclubs and the romping that went on. And that's Bill Gates there. The biggest divorce probably to hit America this year. It's going to be big.
So do you think with him meeting the Epstein guy that he had a little hand in all that?
It's possible. It was so bad that his wife, they say that's when all of that separation started.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't put up with it, I'm going to tell you. And my husband, I wouldn't.
I really did not know anything about that man until all of this came out. I
didn't either.
I had never heard of him.
I had not either, but obviously he knew a lot of like higher level people. So, and they were involved with him.
Someone made a comment about Israel. Israel was attacked last night, and they've retaliated this morning. That's one of the big headlines that is out there. And before we go, I'll try to find a headline that highlights that. But they're sending back retaliation, Israel is. I think it's Gaza that they're involved in this little thing with.
That's not good, at all.
The mom that was missing, and that they've arrested this dad. Are you up to date on this Colorado
I heard
mother?
something about it the other night.
The dad who went on Facebook not long ago and pleaded for his wife, the sister of her, he's arrested for it. She says she's going to forgive her brother-in-law for what he done of killing her sister. That would be tough.
It would be hard. It'd be a very hard thing.
But she goes on to say what happened was they were living above their means, sort of living like the Joneses, as those Southern.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah. And it got too much, and somehow another arguments, and I don't know that they know exactly how she was killed at this point. They have not found her body, but the husband is arrested, and she thinks that buying stuff they couldn't afford attributed to this. Sad.
It
sad.
is sad.
There's no
That's sad. But
material
they had
item.
kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
But again, and this is a good picture of her. That's your average mom.
right.
You see her on the streets here everywhere. That was their home there that she says that shouldn't have had. But you know, really, at the end of the day, any of this stuff you own is not going to get you into heaven. It's not going to.
You can't take it with you. That's for
and
sure.
it doesn't make you happy. Maybe for a few minutes.
Yeah,
You had
but-
that you know, that little buying thing. You know, like people that get on the Home Shopping Network. It's that adrenaline. It wears off.
Yeah, it does.
Just so that you'll do it. Rod Stewart, are you a big fan?
I used to listen to Rod Stewart when I was younger all the time.
If you think I'm sexy,
Yeah.
if you think what was it was somebody's shirt or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, my favorite Rod Stewart would have to be Maggie May. That would be my favorite song. It was just a cool song. But his wife, and I didn't realize this, decided she wanted a new career, and she is now a police officer. And she says that the stuff is very heavy, so he is supporting her. But he goes out, and I guess this is a big joke with him. He put this on his Facebook. He went out and had pictures made in front of their house in the middle after dark of him doing all the ironing since she's taken a job. And as you'll notice, the cord's not plugged up. But
Right.
he's poking fun at it and says he supports her.
That's good that he supports her, though.
Yeah, that's her. And I think they've been married quite some time. But that's her as a cop.
He still, if this is a recent,
That's him.
I mean, he still looks like the old Rod
Yeah,
Stewart, doesn't he?
there he is right there. Now,
I'm
she's
sure he's had a little, a little nip and tuck every now and then.
she's a little bigger than he is.
Yeah, she
I don't know if
is.
I mean, she's a tall woman.
Yeah.
Is that what we call in the South? That's a big boned old girl. Is that what they call
She
that?
is tall now.
So
You might not want to mess with her as a police officer.
I wouldn't think so. But Rod Stewart, and of course, you know, Rod's made enough money to where she would never have to do anything in her life. That's truly wanting to do something instead of sitting
just-
at home.
I think it's commendable.
Yeah, I do
She
too.
wants to be a police officer, especially in this day and time,
Do you
and when
remember?
things are so rough with all that going on.
I don't know this kind of music, but
What?
I do recognize it. You remember a guy named Bob Marley? He was a reggae guy. He
Yeah.
passed away on this date back in 1981. I'd never heard anything of him, so I don't know anything. A big day for Mississippi also. I'm sure that they've got celebrations in Starkville today to remember this occasion. But in I think it was 67, Johnny Cash was arrested and drugged to the Starkville, Mississippi jailhouse.
Goodness,
I think he'd been drinking a little bit. That was
I bet that was embarrassing. I'm sure.
You know, he wrote a song about it called the Starkville Jailhouse Blues or something
Oh,
like that.
really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But Johnny Cash, of course, had that checkered past. And as he'd said many times, if God can save me, he can sure save you. Johnny, and you remember being arrested at the border and all that for drugs?
No, I don't remember the
He was-
border arrest.
He was sneaking drugs back in.
Goodness,
And,
not a good thing, Johnny.
and of course, he turned his life around. Johnny became a huge boy. Him and Billy Graham became just like that after
I
that.
think it's great when people can turn their lives around, and you know, I know some people think, you know, that people are too far gone, and
Yeah.
I've seen it happen that they turn their lives around. You know, so
Did you watch the Beverly Hillbillies?
I used to watch that.
One of
Billy
my
May.
favorite shows. It was on this date that Lester Flatt passed away. He was, of course, you know, the theme music there. Listen to a story about a man named Jed.
Yeah.
Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, but Lester Flatt. And it was 1979. I was 10 years old.
I just remember old Granny.
Wasn't she good?
She talked about the pool being the cement pond.
That was a simpler time in life, or at least it seemed it. But Buddy Epsom was such a great, and of course you had Critters.
Oh yeah, critters, raccoons. They had the raccoons up in the mansion.
And
Ellie Mae.
how do you rate Jim Varney? You know, they done the remake of that in 1994. Did he do a Jed pretty good? How'd you like that?
I mean, it
The
was
movie.
okay. You know.
And I think we all suspected Miss Hathaway had a thing for Jethro, and it came out in that movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we all know a Milton Drysdale. He probably lives
Miss
next door to
Hathaway.
you.
That was played by what's her name? Lily Tom. Was that Lily Tomlin?
Oh yeah, in the movie.
Yeah,
it was.
in the new or the
Yeah.
remake. Yeah.
You know, the original one, bless her heart, she died absolutely broke. And I can't think of who the actor's name was that played her, Miss Jane, the
Oh,
original
okay.
one. But she died penniless at the end there. because that was back before people kept the rights to those movies where they would make the money off of it. Just one of those.
Goodness.
Let's see here. We talked about that before. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, if you own a Honda, here's big news this morning. More than 1 million Honda Accords are having a steering problem, and it looks like they will probably have a recall on that before long.
What year models, I wonder? are
Let's
those?
see here. If I can grab that. 2013 to 2015.
Okay.
But they're investigating that. That's one of the headlines this morning there. So,
I know mine, like the power steering fluid, I would like have a small leak in it, but mine was a 2011. And so like it would have this like wine.
low.
Yeah. You remember that when I
Yeah. Yeah, we put some in at one time. Let's see. How do you feel about this being loose in your neighborhood? I don't know. This is almost like Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Big cat on the loose in
It's like
Houston.
somebody's trying to shoot it.
Yeah, he had a gun. I would have too.
Gosh. Yeah.
His neighbor.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do?
His neighbor has this as a pet, and it got loose.
See, that's always a possibility. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have exotic animals in a neighborhood. I mean, what if it was a child playing in the yard and that thing got loose?
Yeah. As you look at this picture here, he's got his hand on his gun. He's pretty much, you imagine it was probably some words said there.
Oh yeah.
But it's luckily the guy didn't go ahead and shoot it. I mean, you don't want your family being hurt by that.
No. I mean, that would just be bad.
So it must be Nancy Culp was the name of the character that played Miss Jane.
Okay.
So thank you, Gwen. I appreciate you posting that. Boy, I'd still like that. I could talk about that all day. Let's see other things that are going on this morning. Oh my gosh, I almost get dizzy thinking about this next story.
Oh gosh, I don't even. That makes me nauseous just looking at that.
I've seen it on YouTube. I'll never walk out it, get near it. But these bridges, that have the glass bottoms. Well, it finally happened. They even have fake ones to where it'll have like a fake shatter to
and
scare
those people like jump. That would have given me a heart attack if I'd have been on that and they played that joke on me.
This happened in
right there.
China, though. A big wind come up, busted it. He hung on, and then eventually crawled his way back. I'd have been there or dead because
Busted the glass.
Yeah, the glass fell out,
No.
and he was hanging on to the bridge. And of course, that's open right there. They don't have great pictures of what happened, but there's a piece of, and I'm assuming that's him right there back in the background holding on. They didn't make the picture good.
Yeah.
But can you?
There's no way I could walk over that, even if it was solid glass that was like that thick. I ain't no way I could walk over it.
I've never been to the Grand Canyon in my life, but I think I saw where the Grand Canyon has one of those glass bottoms where you can walk out and look.
Not me.
Not I, said the brown cow.
Me either. I look at a picture of it and I'm fine with that. I ain't got to have the whole experience of being there. Now, I would like to go and just see it from like a distance or something. That would be neat.
Yeah, I ain't getting near it.
These people though that get on like mules and ride down
Those cliffs.
Yeah, they ride down the edge of like these big mountains. No,
That ain't for me.
Mine, I always talk about how bad of luck I have. Mine would be the one to get irate and like jump over the edge with me on it.
Who knows my wife? Ask her about the story. We went to Rock City. Dylan Ray, I think, was 2 or 3.
I've been to Rock City,
2 or
where
3
they got
years.
the big, huge rock with one little piece holding it up.
And it had that little bitty metal thing there on the ledge there, and Dylan was hanging over there. I might have had a little fit there. And then we had that incident when we were in Chattanooga. My mother-in-law convinced me to ride the incline. Well, I didn't think it was that big until I got on that thing and it didn't have no roof on it. It was a clear thing, and you get in your chair and it's like this. I'm not making this up. On the floor, Fred Sanford crawled out of there on my belly. I was horrified. They're still laughing at me in Chattanooga from 25 years ago. It was awful. I made a fool of myself. I'm not going to lie.
No, I mean, I would be tearing up some stuff. If they stuck me up in something like that, I would tear it apart.
It's a cable that they winch that train up the side of the mountain. It ain't running on no motor. It's a cable at the top that
Well, it's like those little what do you call them? The little
sky lift.
Well, those things you get in. It's like looks like a little mini bus, and they go with a cable goes over the mountain. Is that what you're talking about?
No. This was an actual train.
Okay,
that sits on a train track.
Right.
And they pull it up, and it's got a glass. It's similar to but it's an actual train car that they pull up a mountainside that is just like that. And
I have no desire to hang above
Let me see here.
thousands of feet up in the air above trees, extended from a cable. Like, no desire.
Let me see here if I can find this of what this thing looks like. Yeah, I think this may be it. Yeah, let's pull this up here. Where is this over here? I think this is parts of it. The incline railway. And see, this thing's got a glass roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was miserable. That's horrible. I don't know if anybody. Yeah, here it is. Well, it's not going to show a good picture. Lookout Mountain
gosh.
Incline.
You going straight up like that?
Yeah, no. It was the most horrible thing I have ever witnessed in my
No, thank
life. And never again will Scotty Ray set foot anywhere near all that. I'm getting heebie-jeebies thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting queasy stomach. Like, I don't want to think about it.
Do you remember the song? Oh, and somebody mentioned that from YouTube that on Newsmax, they were talking about the Israel activities that are going on in the news, that it does deal
Yes.
revelations.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've always heard you don't mess with Israel. You don't.
God's chosen people, like that or not. And McKee said she can't even get on a step ladder. I'm with you, girl.
Me too. I don't know.
100%.
When I was little, we lived in this house, and it had like a tower up next to it, like TV tower, I
Yeah.
guess. I guess that's what it was.
The Rome Tower with the 3 sides on it.
Yeah. We'd climb up that and get on the roof and sit on the edge. I don't even know how I did that. I mean, we would do all kinds of stuff that our parents didn't know we were doing. We'd be up on the roof.
I had a first cousin one time that climbed up there, done kind of like what you said, and thought he was Superman and jumped off.
No, I didn't ever
Broke
jump
a
off.
leg.
I climbed back down, but I don't know.
Do you remember from the 50s the song Lottie, Lottie, Miss Claudie? Stagger Lee? The gentleman that sang that has passed away. They released that yesterday. Lloyd Price, if you remember that from the 50s, those were huge songs. That Stagger Lee I loved. But he's passed away at the age of 88. If you're a big fan of his, that is in the news this morning. It's sad
My
to see some of
stomach is
these.
growling this morning, Scotty Ray. You hear it?
I wish you'd start bringing snacks.
I'm gonna have to start bringing snacks because I feel like
We have really got to go talk to Chick-fil-A and get them to being a sponsor there, where we have them little chicken minis every day.
Oh yeah, those little biscuits. They are so good.
That is the best thing.
Like,
If you look,
they're the best thing to eat, not the best thing for my weight. 'Cause
I didn't go there. Did y'all hear me say that? No, that was all Candace.
they're good.
Me and Candace
I
went to
know.
lunch yesterday, and you know, I didn't eat some stuff. She finished my plate for me.
Oh, you
Such
telling a big
friend.
story. He is telling one. He finished his plate along with the peanut butter and the crackers and the
That was good.
yeah.
I was
I
smearing.
had gumbo.
I was putting. What did I have?
Some kind
Oh,
of
a cheeseburger.
yeah.
And I didn't know what the thing was in the middle, and I pulled it off.
It was
and
a
ended up,
fried green Maida.
yeah, it looked
It was
suspicious,
at Weidman's.
and I didn't know what it was
Yeah.
until after the fact. But it was
Yes.
good. Enjoyed that lunch.
Yeah. We met with some people yesterday and
Yeah.
nice people from the TV station.
Yeah. Ron Harper, how y'all doing?
Yes.
All right. Have you seen all this mess going on with the Golden Globes?
I have not. I don't think.
All right. They've been canceled. Tom Cruise yesterday returned all of his awards back to him, says he don't want them because they're getting boycotted because they're not racially diverse enough is the reason they're saying. And Tom Cruise has turned in his Golden Globes. They've canceled the show.
I'm sure they're sad.
But by no means am I taking up for this award show because it's probably just as horrible as the rest of them when you go to watch it.
Yeah.
But why is it, what happened to America to where whoever is hired is the best for the job? It has nothing to do with the color of your skin, but hiring the appropriate person. If you get into this diversity and you have to hire 6 American Indians, 6 black, 6 white, let's be
Yeah.
fair.
I'm gonna say if somebody's like, say, flying a plane,
Oh boy,
I want the best. I don't care.
what color they
I
are.
don't care what race they are. If they're the best person to fly that plane, that's one I want.
I'd prefer they be able to speak English. I'll go ahead and throw that out there
Yeah,
so I can
yeah.
know what's going on. But
Right. I could care less about the other. I don't. Now, I think people shouldn't not hire somebody that's
Correct.
the best person for the job just because of that would be.
that's wrong.
Right.
But the best person for the job, it doesn't matter your skin color,
Right.
where you come from.
Right.
That person should get the job if they're the most qualified for it. And Whew, it's just worse.
Doesn't work that way though.
No, it's not now.
Goodness.
Here we touched on this earlier there about the Biden administration is he was trying to figure out and say that no, you don't make more money. It is true that tons of people are making more money off of this unemployment, and is different. Alabama has did it first, then Mississippi did it yesterday.
There's a lot of states they named off, and I can't remember which all. I want to say Montana was one.
It is. One of the first there to jump out there and do that. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks if America goes back to work or they continue doing this. This is just, I can't imagine a teenager wanting to harm another one, but a little girl come up missing, a 13-year-old cheerleader come up missing, and they had him in the back of the car, a 14-year-old that they were questioning. He sends out a Snapchat picture of her and said, "Found her yet?"
Oh, gosh.
And it turns out that he is the one most likely. This is the little girl here that, let me show a picture of her here of what the news story here. This is her. This is who has been arrested. Just horrible. There's the headline of this. He's charged with murder after posting that selfie there.
That is awful.
It breaks my heart. It really does. They found her within a few hours of that. As we transition to something a little bit more uplifting, because that's a depressing thought.
I just feel like evil has no boundaries anymore.
It does.
For age or anything. I mean, it's just like you see all kind of crazy.
And here's a man that went through a lot of conviction because he was a Christian. He was given a hard time. The NFL, when he knelt on his knee to pray, they jumped on him. They didn't support it. Tim Tebow is making a comeback into NFL. So congratulations, Tim. This time he was a quarterback the first time. He's going to be a tight end at this time. So
good for him.
We'll see what with the Jaguars.
Good. Wish him all the best luck.
Tim seems to be a good fella. I don't know everything about him, but everything that I've glanced and read, he does seem to be there. One of the last surviving Marines that was 96 years old has passed away, a World War II hero. Survived 5 days with shark-infested water there after they dropped torpedoes on a ship.
Oh, my goodness.
And that, amazing there, but he's passed away.
God had a plan for him, for sure.
Sure did.
He did.
And it looked like he fulfilled that. Let's see here. The vote is tomorrow as the Republicans go. Liz Cheney has got issues coming up. She will most likely tomorrow lose her power as the third highest ranking Republican.
I wonder who they'll replace her with.
They've already said who it's going to be.
Okay.
And I didn't recognize it because I don't know enough about that state. I don't keep up with the politics of it. But
Elise it's up there in the title, I think, in the headline.
Yeah.
Stefanik.
Yeah, and I don't know her.
Elise Stefanik, if I'm saying that correctly.
So that's in the works there. And then again, they're already thinking of 22 of when she's up for re-election in her home state of getting her out of there altogether. And that most likely will happen.
Yeah.
That's what I see coming. So
I feel like Mitt Romney needs to.
There's a lot of talk about that, that Mitt could be out. Now, I haven't seen anybody that stepped up to the plate that looks like they're it on a stick that can take him down yet.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it would affect his financial status because I think he's pretty wealthy.
Hadn't he got like 20 kids?
I don't know how many.
I don't know if it's 20, but I think it is a large number.
Yeah.
Of children.
I'm not sure. I think they could use, a big cleanup through all across the board in some areas.
Yeah, just because you're a Republican does not mean you are great.
Right.
Remember that swamp word? Woohoo. There's a bunch of them in there.
Yeah.
And
on
they
both
didn't
sides, they can use a clean sweep, though.
I agree. Get back to what America really wants, the voter.
And who wants best for our country? What is going to make our country great? And what it's going to bring it back to its glory. I mean, I see all these people. It just seems like they can't stand the United States. No. And so I keep thinking, all these people trying to get into, I had a good idea the other day. I was like, all these people trying to get into the U.S. because they love the U.S. and they want to be here. Let's swap them out for the people don't want to be here.
Yeah.
That way we don't have too many.
What is sad has happened to these other people that have come to the country instead of adapting. And it used to be this way. When they came, they adapted the American way. They've brought their tradition and really changed America the way their country was. And that kind of defeats the purpose of what America is.
Yeah.
And that's just a small thought. You may not agree with
Yeah.
that totally there. But we've got some issues, and especially the next generation of what's going to happen to America. Does it stay on its current path? Does it go this way, or does it come back to a more godly-based nation?
I hope it comes back.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
And that's what we mean by making America great, of having God back in
our
it.
freedoms have been totally taken advantage of, and
Well,
taken for granted.
You go back to 911. A lot of your freedoms were taken away, and you didn't notice it at the time. Slowly but surely during that time, people used that situation to take your rights away from you without it being noticed in chaos.
Right. And I think that's still going on. I mean, it's slowly happening. Like, there's things probably going on that we don't even know about. People trying to change things. There's lots of things being changed probably that we don't even know, that are not in the headlines. And then you're going to wake up one morning and go, what? How did that happen?
A 30-minute conversation with Edward Snowden would scare you of what that boy knows. Hey, let's talk about something we do know a little bit about. As we talked about the weather, and it's going to be rough today, want to make sure that you've got power. Talk to our folks at Sanders Gas. Now, if you've got your air conditioner unit as it gets warm into June, make sure to have it tuned up. You can do that for about $69.99. They'll come out, clean the coils, get it running good. If it needs some Freon, they'll take care of it. Here's the big one, though. If you're wanting to make sure that you have power as we get ready for all these storms that will most likely hit the coast as this comes about, get yours ordered today. A Generac generator. Make sure to get it. They'll tell you exactly what you need. I had 2 neighbors buy some yesterday from them. Looking forward to it. They'll get them delivered. They'll come out to your house, tell you what size you need, depending upon your home. You may not need one this big. Maybe a smaller one. But go ahead and get that ordered. Talk to them today. 601-693-4054. The good folks there at, of course, Sanders Gas will help you there with a generator to make sure that you've got lights on and taking care of you and your family at all times.
That's right. That's what matters. Take care of your family.
Ooh, you better, because ain't nobody else going to do it, let me tell you.
That's right.
Let's see here. What else is stirring this morning? This guy probably is going to have, in Arizona, is going to have re-election issues when it comes to 2022. He is one of the supporters originally that backed Trump and saying, all right, let's do a recount. Now he's backing up saying, boy, I sure was stupid doing that. The folks there that voted, Paul Boyer is his name. Remember that. He may have some issues coming up next election. We've talked about, is it selfish people is the way to word this, of when someone takes their own life.
Yeah.
It being a selfish thing. But this guy sent his ex-wife a text message right before he did what he did. Killed his children. That's just horrible.
That is. I mean, but I truly believe when somebody does something like that, that something is not right in their mind. Like
Well, it's not. It can't
know.
be. But he texted her and said, you're going to have to live with this for the rest of your life, what I'm about to do. That was not her fault, what he did. He chose that decision. And again, I say that's cowardly for doing anything.
yeah, and to take your children's lives, that is horrible. Horrible, horrible.
As you, and I brought this story up here for one reason only. You know how people go on safaris and they kill an animal, and people go and boycott and do all this stuff. Ain't nothing been said about this. This guy shoots a dog because it took his golf ball. I hadn't heard any raising Cain over this.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Where's this double standard thing going on? A dog is different than an animal that you hunt.
Right.
That's my opinion. Animals that's man's best friend. Take care of those. They depend upon you.
Yeah, that's not right at all. That's crazy.
Let's see, don't forget, we got a few things going on this weekend in Meridian. And let's talk about what's going to be happening here. The 3-Foot Festival is coming. If I can find the little slide I got over here that shows that, and I do have it, I promise you. Let's see, we got the Wounded Warrior, which we'll show. Here's the 3-Foot Festival that is coming up this weekend. The 15th, it kicks off at 8 a.m. in downtown Meridian. Don't forget the Clydesdale will be in town.
I think it's going to be a neat thing, and I want to make sure that we go take our son down there and let him see the different artwork and just different things. We used to go to Art in the Park all the time, and I missed it when it, because it used to be at Highland Park. And I think this is like a bigger extension of that, maybe, downtown. But I think it'll be really, really neat. Being in downtown yesterday, they've really amped up the
downtown area looks great.
The downtown area. I mean, it's pretty. They've got flowers planted everywhere. I mean, it really is a nice area now to go to. So, and I think the 3 Foot Festival is going to be neat.
I remember going to the Art in the Park. Carolyn Smith. Remember Carolyn? Carolyn used to wink at me and all that stuff. She'd be on the other side of the park winking at me, going, "Hey, Scotty." I ain't forgot all that, girl. We also want to mention that the Patriot Ride for Wounded Warriors is going to be this weekend. They're going to be meeting at the Chunky River Harley-Davidson. They'll meet there at 9 o'clock and head to Hattiesburg. And then, of course, they'll have a escort to Gulfport there. So if you'd like to know more, you can visit the Facebook page Asphalt and Iron on Facebook and learn more about it. That's a big event also happening this weekend. Hope you make it for that. Now, let's talk about this because it's kind of important as well. That stuff that comes out of the sky, that rain. The weather this afternoon. We're expecting severe weather. Again, most likely this stuff is going to be in the afternoon. I'm going to put it somewhere 3:30, 4 o'clock. And we'll put that to about dark 30, that timeline there. But 4 to 5, we'll start seeing some weather there. Again, it's Mother Nature. It can speed up. It can slow down. But we're only at a level 1. There's no tornadoes associated with this. But it is wind gusts. We could get a little hail and heavy rain. And we're expecting a lot of rain. 1 to 2 inches in between here in Laurel. Hattiesburg could receive at least 3 inches.
Right.
So it's a lot of rain going to come down over the next 24 hours.
And a lot of times people don't think about the pine trees.
Ooh.
A lot of times, like we had all that wind the other day. I see some trees that are kind of like leaning. All that rain is going to weaken that ground even more.
It is.
So just be aware of that. Like if you have a tree that's leaning towards a home or something like that, you might want to just take precaution.
Definitely, when we start giving out these warnings and stuff, if you're getting like nighttime stuff that you can't see, do not sleep in a bedroom that has a big oak tree that overhangs that over your bedroom. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Go down the hall up to somebody else's bedroom, make them scoot over, get in the bed with them. Let's go to radar and take a look at what we've got on radar this morning. Here's Meridian. We've got some showers up here as we go toward the Macon, Mississippi area. That's going to be about where the Kentucky Fried Chicken McDonald's is up there, where Trail Balls Trailers was, right in that area there. A little bit of rain there around Noxapater. As we go west, we're starting to show showers there all around where the roadside parks are there. Coming in to Jackson is where some light rain. It's nothing heavy there. Sneaking into the southwestern corner there of Neshoba County also as we go down. The heavier rain still lies out to our west. Louisiana, look at all this they're getting here. Slidell, they've got some serious wind, 70-mile-an-hour shear winds down here just to the southeast of Slidell, Louisiana. All the way back here to Gonzales. Baton Rouge has got some rough weather there. So we'll watch this. We'll keep you updated as what the weather is doing today. What's on tap today? What are you doing today?
I don't have a real busy day today. I had
Didn't
a cancellation.
it feel good to say that?
I did, but now I had a cancellation, so not gonna be real busy.
Well,
I'm probably just gonna try to get some stuff done at home, because stuff I planned on doing this weekend I did not get done. We were busy doing other things. So anyway,
going to replenish your potted meat. Do y'all have a lot of potted meat sitting around?
No, I don't do the potted meat thing. No.
Y'all, potted meat is some of the best quicks. You can take a whoop of that and put it on a piece of loaf bread. And
that don't even sound good to me. Potted meat.
It's good.
That just sounds gross. It might be wonderful, but I ain't.
Are you also anti?
And I ain't saying if I was starving to death.
Are you anti-Vienna sausages?
No, when I was younger, I would, but they look. This is nasty. They stink.
It's just hard to get the little critters out of there. That first one to come out of the can.
You have to dump them all out.
And it's got that little jelly. I know you. See, I prefer potted meat over that, but I eat them still the same.
Look, I know guys take all that hunting with them probably in the shoot house.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to eat and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm not saying I wouldn't ever eat it, but it would not be my first choice.
No,
say that.
I'm not a escargot type guy. I'm not going there.
Yeah. every time I think about that, I think about that movie Pretty Woman where she's trying to eat them and one flies off the plate. That would be me.
I've always had this philosophy: when you go to a restaurant, if you can't pronounce it, you probably don't need to eat it.
Right. If I'd have gotten snails brought to me, I just remember one time. Now I would eat crab claws that you have to crack open. But
Yeah.
I remember being on a trip with my aunt and uncle when I was younger, and the only crab claws I'd ever had was fried crab claws, where you just bite them and
Yeah.
like shrimp, fried shrimp. They brought those things out, and I mean, tears just welled up in my eyes.
The
I was
legs,
like,
you couldn't handle that.
I was like, what do I do with this? I don't even know. This is not what I expected.
What was that, about 2 weeks ago?
I was probably about 14, maybe 13. I don't know. But yeah, snails would, if they brought those to me, that would turn my stomach.
Yeah, it ain't my thing. We want to say thank you to each and every one of you for watching this morning and being part of our broadcast. Thanks for all the comments. We appreciate you jumping in and giving your opinions. It helps us get through the day.
It does. We really appreciate you.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early, and of course, weather throughout the day. But join us again in the morning, beginning at 8:30 with Scotty Ray and Candace. Anything else you need to pass along?
Just everybody stay safe. I mean, if the weather gets bad, just be aware and stay safe.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by